Hello and hi to everyone who are watching me right now. Myself, Ms. Nidhi Parana, and I welcome you all to today's weekly Wednesday live. And hope we keep continuing this live session for a longer period of time. Yeah. So I can see few of the participants here in the meet. Okay. So we have Isha with us. Hello, Isha. Hello, Keshav. Hello, Tanishka. I hope you all are doing good. Hi, Karthik. All right. So let's begin. I think we all know that what is the topic that we are going to do today. So no guesses for that. We are today going to start with Standard 10, first chapter of history, that is historiography. Yeah. You all might have already studied about it. So this would be a kind of a revision for you. Yes, Keshav. How can I forget that? Um, Hello Nidhi, hello Nishay. All right, yeah. Chalo, let's quickly begin without wasting any further time. In between, we will keep on chit chatting so that I get to know things about you all. I can see many of my last year names as well in the chat box. So happy to see you guys. All right, chalo, let's begin. So today's topic is, as we have said, it's nothing but historiography development in the West. So up till now, the history which you have started was about, ancient time, medieval period, and now we are going to study about the modern history. Okay, and the start of this modern history is with the historiography. You will be studying a lot many chapters under it which will be based upon history and behind that, in sports, how the history was, what is the history in the sports, like in the entertainment industry, what's the history behind it, how Indian arts came into the picture, how's the tourism that happened developed in the past till present. Yeah, how's the heritage management. So you are having really good chapters. If you see from chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the index, you will come across that we have a really good syllabus of history and you guys are going to love it. Yeah, but first three chapter is giving you an overview about what historiography is. तो स्टार्ट के तीन चैप्टर्स तो आपके इसी तरह होने वाले, जो आपको एक ओवरव्यू देगा कि हिस्टोरियोग्राफी होता क्या है, history hota kya hai, and how you study and understand history. Okay, so the first chapter, historiography, is development in the West, that is in the western part of the world. So let's see further what it has for us ahead. So as we move ahead, it's very important for us to know the meaning of historiography, right? So historiography, what it is, what is historiography according to you? Anyone? Yeah. Let me see how much you'll have started studying. So, historiography is nothing but a study of writing of history and of already written histories. Okay, so the one who study about the boundaries, about the geographical thing, we call them as a geographers, right? Yeah. Similarly, the one who are studying more about the history, the one who write history, they are known to be as historiographers. एंड उसकी स्टडी को हम बोलते हैं हिस्टोरियोग्राफी. जैसे जियोग्राफिक related things, we call it as geography, right? Yeah. And the one who writes it, the one who looks after it, geographers, right? Similarly, we have historiography. um, it's nothing but a study of writing of history as well as the written histories. All right. Oh, I'm so happy to see the messages in the chat box. We got our ninth result. Oh, that's so good. Okay, Karthik says we got our ninth result. I got 96.3%. Oh, wow, that's really good. Isha says, I have studied ninth history from your video, yeah. But unfortunately, I could not, post in the later half of it. So I'm really sorry for that. But this time, I will be regular. The study of writing of history and of written histories. Correct, Isha. Yeah. Historiography is nothing but the study of writing of history and the written histories. Okay, so moving ahead with it, that's what historiography is, to study it further and to understand it in a better way. So, all the historical research, the writing, the studies, yeah, all of these things are carried out with a certain objective. और ऑब्जेक्टिव बहुत क्लियर है, क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है हमारा, कि जो भी हमारे पास्ट में हुआ है उसका एक क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर होना चाहिए. Obviously ना, if I say that suppose in your lower standard in history you all have studied about stone age period, yeah, right, then you all have studied about Shivaji Maharaj, the coronation and all those things, yeah, then you studied about the Mughals and all the struggles, right, you also studied about Britishers, yeah, various moments that were taken and how we got the independence. We studied about the Cold War and what is World War and all those things as well. Correct? Yeah. तो हमने क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में पढ़ा ना. इमेजिन अगर आपको थर्ड फोर्थ स्टैंडर्ड में हिस्ट्री में पढ़ा दिया जाता अबाउट ब्रिटिशर्स, would you have understood that what history is? No, na. It was started from a very lower level. That is पहले स्टोन एज के बारे में बताया, फिर आपको शिवाजी महाराज वाला हिस्ट्री आया, then the Britishers and then the world history. Correct? That's how in a chronological order we went, है ना, एक सीक्वेंस में हम गए ताकि हमको उस इवेंट में उसके कनेक्शंस के बारे में ये इजीली समझ में आ सके, right? And that's the reason history is known to be as something which is based on evidence, right? If I say, that dinosaurs were there, yeah, their existence were there, what will be the first question you will ask me, कि मैम डायनासोर्स थे तो उनके क्या एविडेंस है आपके पास, है ना, what is the proof that they were there, they existed, yeah, that is the first question that will come into our mind. When we talk about black hole and all, what's the existence of it, how can one prove about it, right? Aliens are there, then what's the proof about it? So the history is completely based on the evidence. History is nothing but his story. Yeah, when I break it up, it's his story, and story is something which is always about the past, right? So history is completely about the past based on the evidence. Correct? है ना. आप सिलेक्ट करते हो, आप ऑर्गेनाइज करते हो अलग अलग एविडेंसेस को, देन यू राइट इट अप, देन देयर आर पीपल हु रीड इट up, yeah, and that's how the historical event is organized. Today we know that when is Ambedkar Jayanti, we know that when is Rabindranath Tagore's birthday. How do we know that? Because the history of events have been maintained, तभी तो जाकर हमको ये पता चलता है कि कौन सी चीज कब हुई थी. Yeah, that's how it is, right? Isha says we had studied ancient history, medieval history, and modern history is something which we are studying now. Correct, Isha. Tanishka says sources of history. Yes. If you remember your 8th standard and in 9th standard also you have studied sources of history. Why? To give you an overview कि history जो है उसका evidence कैसे मिलता है. What is the source behind getting to know this history, right? That's what we had studied in the beginning, and that's the reason when you have studied about the sources and your 10th standard, they are focusing upon, what is historiography, how are you going to write this history, yeah, how are you going to study this history. That's what the main focus is going to be in your 10th standard. हर एक चीज, हर एक फील्ड, फिर वो स्पोर्ट्स हो, कल्चर हो, फाइनेंस हो, या एंटरटेनमेंट हो, या टूरिज्म हो, हर एक का हिस्ट्री होता है. या व्हेन वी स्टडी अबाउट क्रिकेट, चलो एक स्पोर्ट्स ले लेते, क्रिकेट, isn't there a history behind it? Yeah. The next generation, when they will come, when they will talk about the Virat Kohli, I don't know, Virat Kohli was batting when we started with this live session. So I don't know what is the score right now, but let's hope that this time he hits the century. Okay, and we also have Dhoni today, right? IPL match. So we have a history. The next generation which will come, they will be starting about this history, that how cricket existed, किसने कितने past में records बनाए हैं. So all these are going to be a part of history, and this is what your historiography is. That is a study of historical writing, how the things occurred, why the things occurred, when did it occur, what was the perspective behind it. यही तो हमको हिस्ट्री में जानना होता है, राइट? और इसी को तो हिस्टोरियोग्राफी बोलते हैं. You know, I still remember during my classroom lectures, there used to be many such instances when students used to say, "Ma'am, history subject क्यों होता है? Why do we have SS? What is the use of it?" Yeah, but I feel that history subject is something which is very important. Imagine that you are growing and you don't know about the struggle, the sacrifices, yeah, of our leaders. क्या ही मतलब है, right? History is something that it is going to be with you no matter which field you choose. Maybe आपके साथ science, algebra, geometry, all these subjects are something which will not stay with you for the longer period if you choose a particular field. But history is something, it's a kind of a GK. It is enhancing your knowledge. So wherever you are studying history subject, it should be more like कि हाँ पढ़ना है, not just कि ठीक है सब्जेक्ट है पढ़ना है. It should not be that way. It should be, हाँ, I'm enhancing my knowledge, I'm learning something new in that subject, so that's the reason you should love that subject. Yeah. Oh, chalo. Tanishka says, "Man, I love learning history." So good to hear that. Others, what's your favorite subject? I remember in one of my live, I had asked you all this, and you all have told, some told history, some told mathematics. So yeah, good, good, nice. Chalo. Moving ahead with it. So, here is about the historiography. Let's go ahead. Why historical research, writings, and studies are carried out? Yeah, a simple reason. They are carried out with a simple objective कि जो भी past के events है हम उसे chronological order में लगा सकते हैं. Chronology means in a proper sequence. जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि हम पहले Stone Age पढ़ते हैं, फिर हम धीरे 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 मिडीवल हिस्ट्री पे आते हैं, देन टुवर्ड्स द मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री, राइट? स्टार्ट में स्टोन एज से पहले आप लोग ने वर्ल्ड वॉर पढ़ लिया था क्या? ऑब्वियसली नो, राइट? बिकॉज वी हैव अ सर्टेन क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर ऑफ इवेंट्स, राइट? And their interconnection with one another. Yeah, how Mughals were ruling, फिर ब्रिटिशर्स आए, कैसे उनके बीच फाइट्स हुई थी, ये दिखाना, ये कनेक्शन दिखाना जरूरी है हिस्ट्री में, right? Because every event is leading to another event. Okay, and that's the reason history is something which is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. Okay, I'm very disheartened to know that Virat Kohli is out, being a big fan of him, but ठीक है, कोई नहीं. Let's move ahead. All right. Thank you, Karthik, for the score. Moving ahead with it, empirical method. Now we have certain methods, okay, under the history, which is like in historical research. It's not always easy to prove up the things. Yeah. हिस्ट्री आपको प्रूव करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो तब तक जब तक एविडेंस नहीं है वो it won't be considered. So to make it considered, you need to test it up, you need to keep on proving it up repeatedly. But it's not always possible to conduct a historical research in the laboratory or through observation. क्योंकि ऑब्जर्व कैसे करोगे ना, जो चीज ऑलरेडी पास्ट में हो चुकी है, यू वर नॉट इवन देयर, हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू ऑब्जर्व, राइट? है ना? So that's how the things are, that historical research is not always possible to conduct it in the laboratory through observation, through experiments. And by the way, ये जो laboratory method of experiments and observation होता है ना, इसे empirical method कहा जाता है into the research language. I repeat, empirical method is nothing but the laboratory method of experiments and observation. ठीक है? It is nothing but the physical and the natural sciences that the empirical method is using to verify the available knowledge. Okay, this method is allowing to formulate the laws that remain true irrespective of time and space. Yeah. So basically, this is a method which we are using, and this method is something which is going to be present. Yeah. Uh, आप हिस्टोरिकल उस टाइम पे उस स्पेस में आप प्रेजेंट नहीं हो, सो आप कोई भी चीज को लेबोरेटरी में लेकर जाके ऑब्जर्व करके नहीं क्रिएट कर सकते, राइट? सो हिस्ट्री इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू फॉर्मुलेट लॉज, क्योंकि वो उस टाइम पे सच थी. इट वाज ट्रू irrespective of the time or space. Yeah, if we say that Shivaji Maharaj have conquered this and that fort, he has built this and that fort, तो आप बोलोगे कि ये प्रूव करो. तो दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू प्रूव इट इन द लेबोरेटरी. आप लेबोरेटरी में जाके उस फोर्ट का कोई स्टोन लेकर जाके प्रूव करोगे क्या कि ये देखो शिवाजी महाराज ने किया है? नो, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू प्रूव इट इन द लेबोरेटरी और थ्रू ऑब्जर्वेशन. It is true irrespective of the time or the space that was there. Okay, so in history it is not possible to formulate the laws that remains true irrespective of whatever the time and the space it was. It can be tested and proved again and again, no doubt. आप बार बार चीजों को प्रूव कर सकते हो, लेकिन लेबोरेटरी ऑब्जर्वेशन मेथड हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च के लिए मोस्टली यूज नहीं किया जाता है. आई होप आई हैव मेड इट प्रिटी क्लियर टू यू. या, 10th being the first standard without a chapter named Sources of History. Right. Okay, there's a fact that has been stated by Karthik Gupta. I am highlighting it on the screen. In future, people will find Disneyland in the archaeological sites of that time and think we worshipped mouse. Yeah, maybe true. Weird, but maybe true. Correct. Okay, so this is how we have various things, okay, about the aliens also. Yeah, this is all something scientific. See, aliens and all ये एक scientific है, maybe you can research about it. But when we talk about historical things now, वो laboratory research is little bit not possible onto the scene. Why it is not possible to use empirical method? Very simple, because we are not present in that historical time and space, and that's the reason it cannot be recreated for you. Yeah. So if the question comes in the form of true, false, with reason, you know what the reason you have to give, correct? Yeah. We cannot use empirical method for the simple reason we are not present in that historical time and space, and historical events unfortunately cannot be recreated, right? Moving ahead with it, it is not possible to formulate laws that remains true irrespective of time and space. आप कोई भी ऐसे लॉ को रिक्रिएट नहीं कर सकते जो उस टाइम के लिए सही था. So for historical research, we need an expert who knows a language, right? Now, in the previous time, there used to be the roll, the letters, yeah, जो उस टाइम पे लिखे जाते थे in अर्धमगधी language, in the Prakrit language, या देवनागरी language. अब आज जब हम वो देख रहे हैं, उसके बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम सोच रहे हैं कि यार ये कैसे पता कि ये लिखा हुआ है. We don't know अर्धमगधी language. We don't know the ancient language which they used to use it, right? So that's the reason we require an expert who knows a language, who knows a script of historical document, yeah, who knows how to read it, who knows how to understand what is the meaning behind it. तभी तो समझ में आएगा कि उस टाइम पे उस इवेंट में क्या हुआ था. So experts can actually examine the authenticity also. Now, what is authenticity, my dear students? ऑथेंटिसिटी इज नथिंग बट कि आपका जो डॉक्यूमेंट है वो कितना सच है. या अभी अगर मैं लाके बोल दूं दैट this is the letter which was written by Shivaji Maharaj, will you believe me? No, na, you are not going to believe me like that. You will check its authenticity. But we being a normal person, क्या हम उसका authenticity समझ पाएंगे क्या? नहीं समझ पाएंगे ना. हमको चेक करना पड़ेगा, किसी से चेक करवाना पड़ेगा, कोई हिस्टोरियन से, जो चेक करेगा कि वो पेपर का क्वालिटी कैसा है, वो कौन से एरा में यूज किया जाता था, वो स्टैम्प जो लगाया है वो कौन से रूलर का है, या so according they check lot many different things, and on that criteria they come up with a authenticity whether it is true or not. So क्या क्या criterias है to know the authenticity of a document? सबसे पहले lettering style, या किस तरह से लिखा गया है. जैसे पहले they used to use the real colors instead of ink. So what is the lettering style? Stamp of authority, author style of writing क्या था. ओके उससे हमको आइडिया आता है कि ये कौन से रीन कौन से रूल का है, व्हाट वाज द टाइप ऑफ पेपर, डेट क्या था, उस टाइम पे कौन से रूलर का रूल चल रहा था, whether they were Rajputs or whether they were Cholas or whether they were Rashtrakutas. So that way you get an idea about it, that what language they have used. These are the basic criteria students, जिससे कि आपको आइडिया आ जाता है कि आपका जो डॉक्यूमेंट है क्या वो सच में उतना पुराना है, क्या वो सच में जो उसने क्लेम किया है, whether it is authentified, whether it is true, whether it is accurate, whether it is relevant. So these are the criteria which are going to help you out. Hi Ikra, मैम आप इतने दिन inactive क्यों थे? बस थे. But now I'm active, and let's hope I be like that for the longer period. And we have started with the history series. English videos are already streaming on the channel. Yeah, 1.1 is there, 1.2 is there, 1.3 is also there. Very soon on Monday, 1.4 poem, which was one of my favorite poem, is going to be there. So you guys can check it out. Yeah. Moving ahead with it, so historical research method. What are the various historical research methods that are been used? Okay, so various methods are been used. For example, we have one method of examining all the references of the historical information. मतलब जितनी भी information हमारे पास है उन सबको जाकर एक बार हम evaluate करेंगे, या उन सबको एग्जामिन करेंगे कि वो सच है या नहीं है. ओके लोगों से जाकर बात करेंगे, जैसे कि इफ वी वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट इंडिपेंडेंस, तो मैं उन लोगों से जाके बात करूंगी जो इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम थे यहाँ पर, जिन्होंने अपने आंखों से देखा था दैट हाउ द पार्टीशन हैड हैपेंड. करेक्ट. Another method is collecting the historical information, highlighting the process and the comparative analysis. अंडरस्टैंडिंग वेरियस रेफरेंसेस लाइक अलग टाइम पे अलग स्पेस में हिस्टोरिकल जो इवेंट्स हुए थे उनके कंसेप्ट्स के रिलेटेड मैं और रिसर्च कर सकती हूँ टू नो मोर अबाउट हिस्ट्री. Then I can formulate various questions related to that historical reference to ask various people. And once I ask them question, I might get some new ideology about it, right? Formulating hypothesis. Now, hypothesis is अंदाजा. ओके सो आप एक बार अपना एक हाइपोथेसिस सेट कर सकते हो, आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हो, ओके जिसके थ्रू आपकी एक थियोरी सेट हो सकती है. So formulating hypothesis is also one of the historical research method. Examining of sources of history. I think this is the point which I don't have to explain you up. You have already started that what is a source of history, whether it is written, oral, audiovisual, materialistic. So what is the source of history? वो भी बहुत डिपेंड करता है. We know in the early time there were no written and oral sources, right? They were just material sources, right? And now in the modern period we have audiovisual sources. So examining the sources of history also tells you the period during which that event had occurred. Hello, Khushi. All right. Moving ahead with it, tradition of historiography. So we have various tradition of historiography. So during the traditional period, historiography was not prevalent in ancient societies of the world. Okay, so traditional means the olden period, right? So at that time historiography was something not much people were knowing about it. Yeah, लोग ज्यादा रिसर्च नहीं करते थे हिस्ट्री को लेकर. However, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि उन्हें हिस्ट्री के बारे में पता ही नहीं था या वो जानने के लिए क्यूरियस नहीं थे. No, they were equally curious to know about it. Ancient people also felt that जनरेशन टू जनरेशन ये स्टोरीज पास ऑन करना पड़ेगा ना. How do I know about Shivaji Maharaj and the history and the Mughals? Yeah, how do I know about it? Through the generation to generation, the stories that have been passed. Yeah, नहीं नहीं बाजीराव मस्तानी फिल्म भी देखेंगे वो लोग हिस्ट्री जानने के लिए. बट इसके अलावा we have, you know, generation to generation way of passing up the stories, the bravery stories about Shivaji Maharaj, the valor, the ancestors tell to us, we are going to tell to our kids. So that way, generation to generation, the history keeps on passing, right? And इसी के through हमें previous history के बारे में पता चलता है. They used various means like cave painting, storytelling, singing songs, and ballad, etc. for this purpose. Now, ballad is something ना मैं आप लोगों को मेरे लाइव वीडियो में ऑब्वियसली नहीं बता सकती वरना कॉपीराइट इश्यूज हो जाएंगे. लेकिन आप लोग ना शिवाजी महाराज बैलेड करके लिखो, search it up, you will see a Shivaji Maharaj movie was there, and in that, you know, they have showed a povada or the ballad, you can say. ये क्या होता है पता है? किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पर्सन के ऊपर कोई लिरिकल सॉन्ग काइंड ऑफ जो बनाते हैं फोक सॉन्ग, उसको हम बैलेड बोलते हैं. शिवाजी महाराज, बाजीराव, इनके ऊपर काफी सारे बैलेड्स एंड पोवाडास बनाए हुए हैं. यू कैन चेक इट अप इन दी YouTube itself. One of a very famous Shivaji Maharaj povada is there. Actually, that was a part of the movie of Shivaji Maharaj in Marathi. But you will really love it. उसके अंदर सारे events बताते हैं, अफजल खान से लेके शेस्ता खान तक. Every event has been highlighted. So it's nothing but a short poem or a song which is narrating actually a complete story of a particular person. That's what the ballad is. So इनसे भी तो हमें पता चलता है ना ये songs वगैरह से कि history क्या थी. So this is a traditional way, a olden way of passing up the history. That was the sources of history in the modern historiography. Moving ahead, characteristics of modern historiography. First, it's a method based on scientific principles. You need to form questions to know about modern historiography. And these questions are going to be anthropocentric. Now, anyone knows what is anthropocentric? Okay, come on, I'm waiting for you guys to answer. Yeah. So, okay, no worries. I'll tell you up. Anthropocentric is a viewpoint of someone. Okay, it's a philosophy, it's a viewpoint that one person have. Okay, so when it comes down to these kind of question, your question should have a viewpoint, and that's how it means that these questions are going to show the deeds of the members. या जिसके बारे में आप बात कर रहे हो उन्होंने क्या किया है कि जो सोसाइटी पे उसका इम्पैक्ट पड़ा है. या व्हाट अब फिल्म्स भी बनती है हमारे हिस्टोरिकल लीडर्स पे, तो उनके ऊपर ही फिल्म बनती है ना जिन्होंने हमारे सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ किया हो. भगत सिंह या चंद्रशेखर आजाद, महात्मा गांधी, या दे हैव actually given their lives and so many different things to the society, and we are just returning them. Yeah, so your questions are anthropocentric, which needs to have a certain viewpoint behind it. Answer to these questions are supported by reliable evidence. Evidence नहीं तो कोई आपकी बात मानेगा नहीं. वो evidence नहीं होगा ना तो it will be considered as just a rumor. Okay, and when you have a evidence it will be considered as a history. ठीक है, so there is a difference between rumor and history, and the only thing which is making them either one is the reliable evidence. Okay, history presents a graph of mankind journey with the help of its past human deeds. So history is nothing but it's originally a Greek word. Okay, and Herodotus, a Greek historian, has used it for the first time in his book. And what was the title of the book? The Histories. Okay, now this is, I think, fill in the blank. Also, it comes in the exam in the form of fill in the blank. So make sure that you remember history is Dashwood, it's a Greek word. Many a times I have seen student writing it Latin word, but no, it's a Greek word. Herodotus, a Greek historian, had used it for the first time, and the title was the Histories. Okay, yeah. A few of the notable scholars who have actually added impact into history, who have came out with this concept of historiography. Let's see them. So these are certain, European, uh, people who have actually paid the impact of it. All right. So that's how, we have a history behind it. Okay. So let's move ahead and see that who are these notable scholars. Okay, you need to know the name of each of them. Yeah, हर एक का नाम आना चाहिए. They can ask you into any of the way, so you need to know the name of each, notably scholars, the European scholars. Okay, sometimes it comes in the activity format also. ओके, तो आप लोगों को इसके लिए स्पेलिंग्स उसकी अच्छे से याद करनी है. मैं तो बोलूँ 5 5 टाइम्स लिख के देना, टेंशन ही नहीं चाहिए. ओके, सो हियर वी हैव a very good looking notable scholar, Rene Descartes. Okay, then we have Voltaire, and we all know him, George William Frederick Hegel. Okay, so these are the scholars. Other than that, other European scholars are Leopold von Ranke. Yeah, we have Karl Marx. We have studied a lot about Voltaire, a lot about Karl Marx in the previous history books. Yeah, and here we have Michel Foucault. Okay, so these are few of the notable scholars that we have, started about, that we have gone through. Okay, so make sure that you remember name of each of them. This is a very common question asked in the activity format. Okay, so make sure that you know the answers of it. So here we come to an end of part 1. Okay, very soon one more live lecture will be taken to complete this chapter up, जिसके अंदर हम ये नोटेबल स्कॉलर्स और उनके कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस के बारे में बात करेंगे, ईच ऑफ देम. ठीक है, and with that the chapter would be over. Any questions you all have? Yeah, I would be really happy taking it up. Karthik says, Shivaji Maharaj Bolto a movie. I have not actually watched the movie, but many a times in my classroom, I have showed students the povada of that, the ballad, and they have loved it. So I would, actually, it's I have put it up over here, but I unfortunately cannot show it to you. But if you guys can watch it up, then do watch it up. It's really good. I can give you the link also. In fact, I'll post it up in the chat box as well. Yeah, here is a link of it. Okay, just a sec. I'll share the link so that you all can watch it. I really love this ballad. थोड़ा सा start में non-Marathis won't be able to understand, non-Maharashtrians, but then थोड़ा सा आप आगे आगे सुनोगे, आपको लगेगा, oh, this is a history we have already studied about. Yeah, so वो एक चीज है. Okay, yeah, here is a link of that Povada. You all can watch it up. Ma'am, can you take live lectures at least 2 to 3 times in a week? 2 to 3 times won't be possible. But I can promise you that at least twice in a week you will be getting a video. Yeah. Uh, Whether it is of English, history. For live, probably I will probably be there. I will probably be there on Wednesdays. And in case of midweek, it is there. You all can just stay tuned with the community tab. Okay. All right. I think here we will stop with our live. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining up. In case after starting still you have any doubts relating to the chapter, you can post it up in the comment box. And yeah, and I'll try to answer as much as you can. And chalo, see you guys very soon. Take care. Have a good day. Bye. Oh, all right, Karthik. ठीक है, chalo. Have a great time. Bye, guys.